there, humans. Are you ready for some story time with me, Mavis? Well, I sure hope so. I have the storybook Dracula's back. Are you ready to join me? Well, I sure hope that all of you are having a wonderful, sunshiny day. Here we go. Count Dracula, owner of the stately and spooky Hotel Transylvania, loved his daughter very much. More than anything. He loved her so much that when she fell in love with a human, Johnny, he opened up the hotel to humans too, so the two of them could be together. But when Mavis and Johnny got married and had a baby, Dracula not so secretly hoped that his grandson Dennis would become a vampire too. Who wouldn't love to be a vampire? Look at all that red hair, Grandpa Mike said at Dennis's first birthday. It's not going to stay that way, Drac insisted. I see some black roots in there. His name is Dennis, Drac, said Grandpa Mike. He likes it when I use his vampire name, said Drac. How do you know he's a vampire? Grandma Linda asked. He isn't pasty-skinned and doesn't have fangs like the two of you. Oh, well, he'll get his fangs. These things take time. Up to 5 years, said Drac. But as his 5th birthday approaches, Dennis still doesn't show any signs of being a vampire. Ready for our bat lesson, Denisovich? Drac asked him one evening. Dennis ran around the room with his arms, yelling out, I'm a bat! I'm a bat! I'm a bat! Keep focusing, little Beezle buddy. You'll be able to turn into a bat eventually, Drac said hopefully. Dad, haven't you noticed that Dennis is different? Mavis asked. His idea of scary is Cakey, the cake monster. And he likes lullabies about twinkling stars. Not about inner blood. If he's going to be around stuff like this, you'll have to get used to it, Drac said. Actually, Mavis said, Johnny and I have been talking about moving. What? Drac cried. Dennis needs to be somewhere safer for a human. I'm sorry, but you just can't make somebody into something they're not. Drac cornered Johnny. Are you in on this? The leaving? It's not definitized, Johnny answered. And I don't want to leave. I love it here. Tell that to Mavis, Dracula shouted. I did, but all she talks about is going to my hometown to see if it's a good place for Dennis to live. Johnny started to cry. Drac and Johnny came up with a plan. Johnny would take Mavis to his parents' town, and Drac and the boys would sneak Dennis away to all their old haunts and teach him how to be a monster. As Mavis and Johnny left, Drac packed everyone into his hearse, and they hit the road. Where are we going, Papa? Dennis said. Oh, Denisovich, we're going to have an adventure. A monstery adventure. Monsters like Cakey? Dennis replied, Hey, you know who could fix this kid in a snap? Vlad, said Frank. Drac huffed. You don't need to call him. We got this. A short while later, they reached the dark forest of Sebulza. Remember how we used to prowl around and scare the pants off of whoever came into the forest? Drac asked. Let's show Denisovich how it's done. Frankie got ready to jump out at some unsuspecting joggers. But before he could swoop in, Hey, it's Frankenstein, one jogger said, smiling. Can I take a picture with you? A little selfie action? Sure, Frank answered. Really? Drac asked disappointedly. Poor Dracula. Do you think it's going to work out, friends? Their next stop was Camp Witchappa. the vampire camp Drac went to as a kid. Demisovich, this is where I learned how to catch mice and shapeshift and all kinds of monstery stuff," he explained. "Oh, badminton," yelled Dennis. "That wasn't here when I was at camp," Drac said. "We are so excited to have you visit, Count," said Dana, the camp director. "I'm interested in sending my grandboy here," Drac told him. "This little red-headed non-fanger? Are you sure?" he asked. "He's just a late fanger," Drac assured him. "That's why he came here. Now, can you show us where you catch mice?" "Oh, well, we call it tea-mousing now," Dinah explained. Why can't we just call it, Vlad?" Wayne and the werewolf asked. Vlad's ways always work," said Murray the mummy. "I don't want to hear any more about it, Vlad," Drac replied. "I don't think things are working out very well now, are they?" This is just before they record the video, and then Johnny sees it, and that's when I come rushing back. When the campers begin singing happy songs around the campfire, Dracula had it. He picked up Dennis and climbed the tower where he'd learned to fly. "I want to fly like Papa," Dennis said excitedly. The rest of the monsters followed them. "Maybe this kid isn't supposed to fly," Frankie said to Drac. "You throw him, and they figure it out. It's how I learned," Drac said defensively, and with that he tossed the smiling Dennis off the tower. "Papa's right here if you need him." "Whee!" Dennis yelled as he fell. "He's not flying," Frank said anxiously. "He will," Drac answered calmly. "Still not," said Wayne. "It'll happen," said Drac. "He's getting too close to the ground," cried Murray. They were right. Drac soared down to grab Dennis before he could get hurt. "I didn't fly," Dennis said sadly. "You were trying, my boy," Drac said. "Oh, that didn't work out so well now, did it?" Little did Drac know that the young vampire camper had filmed the whole incident, and the video had gone viral. As soon as Mavis saw it, she called Drac. "I'm coming home right now." Drac and the gang knew that they had to get back to the hotel fast. When they got there, Mavis was waiting for them. "I was worried Dennis wasn't safe around all the monsters here," she said. "Now I wonder if he's even safe around you." "We are definitely moving. Right after his 5th birthday party." Drac was crushed. "It's time to see Vlad," Frank said. "I can't believe I'm doing this," whispered Drac as he entered a dark cave and approached Vlad and his sidekick, Bella. "Hi, Dad," Drac said, looking down at his feet. "I need your help. My grandson is turning 5 in a couple of days, and he hasn't shown his fangs yet." "We will do it my way. We will scare the fangs out of him," Vlad replied. "So my dad will terrify him until the vampire's scared out of him," Drac explained to Johnny back at the hotel. "That sounds so harsh, but it'll be worth it if it means you get to stay. Oh, and one more thing. Don't mention Vlad that your parents are human," Drac warned. "But Drac, we're all supposed to be proud of how well we mix," Johnny interrupted. "Or he'll eat you," finished Drac. Oh dear. On the day of Dennis's party, Dracula made sure all the human guests were dressed as monsters. To trick his father, Vlad, Mavis hired Kiki the cake monster to entertain the kids. Just as he began the show, Vlad, Bella, and their cohorts arrived. Before anyone could react, Vlad levitated Keiki high into the air. Demisovich, this is scary. Are you feeling any different? Drac asked. I'm scared, Papa, Dennis said. What's happening to Keiki? Drac saw how horrified Dennis looked. He knew he couldn't let Vlad go through with his plan. Stop it, Drac shouted. It's not worth it. Vlad dropped Keiki to the ground, annoyed. Mavis was furious with her father. This is how you plan to make him a vampire? By scaring it out of him? We're almost done the story. You're ashamed of the boy because he's human, Vlad said to Dracula. There's no shame, but I love him no matter what, Drac said. Everyone here is my family, monsters and humans. Vlad looked around and realized how many of the monsters were really humans in costume. I can't believe you let your daughter marry a human, Vlad shouted. You've betrayed everything we stand for. Everything you stand for, Drac said. We don't hate humans anymore, and they don't hate us. Hey, where's Dennis? Johnny asked. In the midst of all the shouting, no one had noticed that Dennis and Wayne's daughter, Winnie, had run off into the woods together. But one of Vlad's cohorts did. Where could he be? Drac said, panicked. Don't worry, we'll find him, answered Vlad. They set off together to search for Dennis. I hope you're all enjoying the story. Bella found Dennis and Winnie at the dog fort and tried to kidnap Dennis. You'll be my ransom when I go to destroy the humans in the hotel, he said. You can't, cried Dennis. It would make Papa Drac sad. What are you going to do about it? Bella asked, sneering. You're just a weak little boy. Winnie bit Bella's hand, and the vampire pushed her away. Dennis faced Bella, his eyes turning fiery red. He growled and made a vampire face and bared his fangs for the very first time. Then he roared loudly. Bella went hurtling through the air. Mavis, Johnny, and Drac all heard the roar and flew toward Dennis. They arrived just in time to see Dennis punch a boulder and shatter it. With the help of all the monsters and humans, Dennis and his new powers fight off Bella and the cronies, and they all flew away. So he got his fangs after all. Dad, I'm sorry. Dennis is like us, Mavis said to Drac. I'm sorry too, Drac replied. We all just needed to let Dennis find out for himself who he was instead of trying to tell him. Even Vlad seemed to change. Don't ever come near me or my family again, he told Bella, before shrinking him down to a tiny size. Hey, isn't it still someone's birthday? Johnny asked. Together, the monsters and humans sang to Dennis and celebrated his new fangs. I hope you all enjoyed that story. But you know what the moral of it is? It doesn't matter if you're different. You don't have to be the same as your friends. Celebrate your differences. That's what makes everyone special. Well, I hope all of you are enjoying this beautiful day. I've got SP100 on, and I'm going to head out for a walk. I hope you do too. Bye-bye, everyone.